Welcome and God bless you. I'm Matthew Brown, pastor teacher of Greater Community Church here in Marietta, Georgia. I'm glad that you tuned in for another installment of MLB Relationship Keys. All month long I've been doing this series on relationships, and we've turned our ministry into the shipping business. You know, on Sunday we performed a wedding at the end of our sermon on partnership, and you can go to Ustream and see that. But what I thought was really interesting is that when I got to the part of addressing the bride and her vows to her husband that she would love, honor, and obey, there was seemingly an undercurrent of just a bristling of that word, because obedience now is something that is really not even discussed in the midst of relationships. Obedience is our relationship key today, and I want to share it within the context of God's perspective of obedience in relationships. Somebody's got to lead. Somebody has to lead and somebody has to follow. Someone must love and then someone must submit. According to the scripture, the Bible tells us that the husband has the responsibility of being over the wife, or the head of the wife, not in a dominating way, but really in a way of love. And a wife then submits to love. And then that's that whole piece of obedience. And then the children submit also. In the traditional marriage vows, obedience is something that women bristle to say, and men shudder to really realize that they have the responsibility that if their wife is going to obey them, that they have to walk in a way that will not damage the family. I want to tell you that obedience is necessary in the context of a relationship, but it must come out of love. If you are unequally yoked, if you are fighting all the time, if you have not submitted yourself to God, matter of fact, if you're not obedient to God, then you're not going to be obedient to one another. But I really want to leave this with you, that obedience is an act of love. It's not a loss of rights. And so if you think that if you have to obey God or you have to obey one another, then you're losing your rights, you're losing who you are, then you need to go back and check that, because I thought you gave you up when you came to Christ. Paul says, I'm crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. The life that I now live in the flesh, I do by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So our relationship key today is obedience. I pray that you'll go back and check your submission to God and then your submission to one another.
That was easy.
Stay in his face, journey well.